Okay, so this is a demo of DeOps. When you download the zip and unzip it, you should have the exe here, and you can launch it. Okay, so on the login screen, you can create a new organization or join an organization or launch the simulator of the peer-to-peer network. I've already created an organization called Test, so I'll log into it here. Okay, so here's the main interface. You can see here I am, Mark, and I trust Bob, as well as Alice trusts Bob, and Ryan and Steve trust me. On top of this hierarchy, there are services such as chat, for instance. You can see here there's a high-level chat and a low-level chat. And the low level is myself and my subordinates, and the high level is my superior subordinates. There's also voice chat here, and the ability to share files with the chat room. With the voice chat, you get the hierarchical voice chat going on, where the high level is in the right headphone, and the low level voice chat is in the left headphone. So as the hierarchy changes, the services change. So for instance, if instead of trusting Bob, I want to trust Alice, I just right-click on her here and select Trust. And now I trust Alice, and I only have a low-level chat room with Ryan and Steve. So there's other services on top of the hierarchy, like a file system. And you can add files to the file system. I got some sample files here. And when you add files to the file system, you can just drag them right in. I'll drag a file into here. And when you hit Save Changes, the new files are inherited by my subordinates here, Ryan and Steve. And when they make changes, I get notified of the changes, and I can accept the changes, and the changes will move further up the hierarchy. The history is kept to files, so for instance, if I delete this website file, it will ask me if I want to keep a record of it. And now it's not here anymore, but if I click on this Ghost tab, I'll see it was here at one time, and I can see the history here that it was created at this date and deleted at this date. And then these changes are also inherited by my subordinate. There's also a planning service or a scheduling service here, where you can add items to the schedule. And these items will be inherited by your subordinates. So there's stuff to do, and Ryan and Steve fall into that scheduling item. So here you have kind of like a interactive calendar of what needs to be done. There's also a message board for offline communication, and also a mail system for offline communication. These things all work on top of the peer-to-peer network, so everything's encrypted and stored in a distributed manner around the network. The idea here is to keep everything encrypted within the organization itself and have nothing managed by third parties. Now this is the main functional hierarchy, but there can be alternate hierarchies within the organization of projects. And each of these projects has their own services built on top of them. So for example, I have my project here. Let's see, my project, file system, and you can see there's nothing in the my project file system. But if other people join my project and I add files to the my project file system, then those files will be inherited, and so on. DeOps also works just as like a normal instant messenger. You can click this button here, and the whole program collapses down. The views can still be accessed from this menu here, like the file system, for instance. And then if you double click on people like Alice, you'll get a messaging window. Here it's mail because she's offline, but if she was online, you get an instant messaging window like this, and then you can instant message her. With instant messaging, you have the ability to do voice chat, you can send files. This is all also done over the network, so it's totally encrypted. And you can also see where people are logged in at. For instance, here it says I'm at site 10, but you can rename that to like home, and then you can have multiple profiles all logged in simultaneously and see where they are. This key button here locks down the application, so you need a password to get back in, so it's just running in the tray. So if you leave your computer, you can secure DeOps. And that's about it for DeOps. It's simple in concepts, but a bit complicated in execution. It's really an experiment in hierarchies and command and control. And that's DeOps. It's a tool for secure organization. You can imagine this hierarchy scaling up to the millions, and that's where it really becomes, all these services actually become really useful, is when you have that large scale organization going. So thanks for checking it out, and check out the source on GitHub.